The most dangerous man in the room is not the one shouting. It is the one who has stopped talking entirely. Most people view silence as a pause, a gap in communication, a moment to breathe. They are wrong. In the hands of a predator, silence is not a pause, it is a vacuum, and nature, especially human nature, abhors a vacuum. When you stop speaking, you aren't just being quiet, you are removing the floor from beneath your opponent's feet. You are forcing them to look into the abyss of their own insecurities, and eventually, they will jump in just to end the tension. In the next 7 minutes, we are going to weaponize your restraint. We will identify the pivot point, the exact millisecond where a quiet moment transforms into a psychological assault. You will learn why over-explaining is a slow suicide for your social status. I will give you the void protocol, a 3-step framework to drain the confidence out of a narcissist without uttering a single syllable. By the end of this video, you will understand that your words are your currency, and you have been hyperinflating your value by talking too much. Today, we stop the inflation. Today, we become the bank. You've been there. You said something, you made your point, then the silence hit. It felt heavy. It felt like a physical weight on your chest. So you blinked. You added another sentence, then another. Does that make sense? I just mean that... Anyway, what do you think? In those 3 seconds, you surrendered. You showed them that you cannot handle the pressure of your own presence. You signaled that they need your validation to feel okay. Your enemies saw that. They felt the power shift. They realized that all they have to do to control you is wait. You were drowning in a sea of your own words, and they're just watching from the shore. Why does silence hurt? It's called horror vacui, the fear of empty space. When social feedback stops, the brain's amygdala goes into high alert. The brain interprets social silence as a threat to survival. In the wild, silence meant the pack had abandoned you. In a modern negotiation, it means you were losing. When you use strategic silence, you are intentionally triggering a reflexive projection in the other person. Because you aren't providing information, their brain must create its own. And because they are under pressure, they will project their worst fears. If they are lying, they assume you know the truth. If they are insecure, they assume you are judging them. You aren't attacking them. You are handing them a mirror and letting them scare themselves to death. Consider the negotiation of the ghost. A high-level CEO was being squeezed by a predatory firm for a buyout. The predators laid out their terms. They were aggressive, insulting. They expected a counteroffer. They expected a fight. The CEO didn't fight. He didn't even lean forward. He simply looked at the lead negotiator. 1 minute passed. The air in the room became electric. The negotiator started to fidget. He adjusted his tie. 2 minutes. The CEO didn't blink. He wasn't angry. He was just absent. The negotiator couldn't take it. He blurted out, "Look, we can move on the interest rate if that's the issue." The CEO still said nothing. 3 minutes. The negotiator panicked. "We'll drop the non-compete clause too. Just say something." The CEO had won the war before he even opened his mouth. He used the silence to let the negotiator's own greed turn into desperation. He didn't win by being smarter. He won by being colder. Here is how you execute the strategic silence attack. It requires 3 phases. Phase 1, the anchor. When someone asks you a question that is meant to trap you or makes a demand, give the answer. Then stop. Do not explain the answer. Do not justify it. Look them directly in one eye, not both, one eye. This makes your gaze feel more piercing. Phase 2, the 3-second threshold. Most people can handle 2 seconds of silence.
3 seconds is where the social panic begins. Count it in your head. By the 3rd second, they will feel the urge to speak. Your job is to reach 4 seconds. At 4 seconds, the power dynamic has completely inverted. Phase 3, the non-verbal shift. Once they start talking to fill the gap, and they will, do not interrupt them. Let them dig the hole. Wait for them to finish, then wait another 2 seconds. This forces them to realize that their filler talk didn't work. It makes every word they say feel small. It will feel like fire in your throat. Your ego wants to defend itself. Your nice guy conditioning wants to smooth things over. Kill that urge. Every time you fill the silence, you are leaking power. Think of your words like water in a canteen in the middle of a desert. Would you just pour it into the sand to hear the sound? No. You save it when it's life or death. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is the ultimate expression of it. It says, I am so comfortable in my reality that I don't need yours to validate it. You have the framework. Next time you are challenged, don't raise your voice. Lower your word count to 0. Watch the world scramble to please you. But remember, silence is only effective if you have a shadow to back it up. If they think you're quiet because you're scared, the attack fails. You must be quiet because you are dangerous. Do you know how to signal danger without saying a word? It's in the predator's gaze, a specific ocular technique used by the most intimidating figures in history. But that is a secret for another time. For now, stay silent, stay aware.